Many people believe that religion should remain private and should have nothing to say about philosophy, politics, psychology, economics, biology, or law. Religion should be kept out of the public square. Even some Christians believe this. They believe that their faith does not apply to these areas, that these disciplines belong to the secular world. The question is, does the Christian worldview apply to every facet of life? The Bible does, in fact, speak to every aspect of life. Genesis 1:1 reads, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth," a statement that is full of theological and philosophical ramifications. Genesis 2:9 speaks of the knowledge of good and evil, which has clear ethical implications. Biology is addressed in Genesis 1:21 with the creation of animals after their kind. The fact that God created humans in His image and that they are both body and spirit bears on the topic of psychology. When God created Adam and Eve, male and female, He revealed His design for sociology. Genesis 9:6 declares the consequences that should apply to someone who sheds the blood of man, which concerns both politics and law. Jesus is claimed to be the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, directly addresses the Christian view of history. The revelation of God in creation and in the Bible provides Christians with the basis for a complete biblical worldview. To better understand how the biblical Christian worldview applies to all areas of life, it is important to briefly examine its history.
While Christianity centers on the person of Jesus Christ, its roots go back to the creation of the universe. In the beginning, God created all things. He created the world, the heavens, and human beings in His own image. They were given the choice between obeying their Creator or rejecting His good provisions. Tragically, they rejected God, and sin spread to every human being, bringing corruption to all of creation. Before the fall into sin, man enjoyed an intimate relationship with God. But because of their sin, human beings needed to be reconciled to God. The Old Testament records God's relentless pursuit of those made in His image. From the deliverance of Noah and his family in the ark, to His covenant with Abraham and his descendants, God was renewing His relationship with His image bearers. God declared good news to Abraham, promising that through him all the nations of earth would be blessed. But the descendants of Abraham found themselves under the oppressive domination of Egypt. God, faithful to His promises, raised up Moses to be their deliverer, ushering them from the land of slavery and taking them toward the promised land. Though greatly blessed by God in the land of promise, the people's hearts were hardened, and they eventually fell under the oppressive rule of the nations. They cried for a new deliverer. They cried out for the Messiah. Christians believe that the Messiah did come. His name is Jesus. His role, however, was very different than expected. Rather than seeking merely to deliver Israel from the oppression of Rome, He sought to redeem them from the bondage of sin. He came in fulfillment of God's promise to Abraham. He came to redeem all the nations of the earth. After His crucifixion and resurrection, Jesus commissioned His followers to take the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ, throughout the entire world, thus making disciples of all the nations. In the centuries following Jesus' life, Christianity spread to all parts of the world. Today, Christian missionaries, bearers of the good news, cover the globe, declaring the way for people to be reconciled with their Creator. Despite intense persecution in certain quarters, Christianity persists. And even though the church has divided many times throughout its history, it continues to proclaim that Jesus is Lord of all.